Daniel Meckstroth, chief economist at Manufacturers Alliance to MAPI, says the economy is in a bottoming out process. He joins us now from our Washington bureau with more. Dan, welcome, and your first reaction to that number today, the industrial production number.
Well, it's a very welcome relief, as has been stated. The last 17 out of the last 18 months, industrial production has declined, or manufacturing production has declined.
Right.
This 1% increase is a large increase occurring in 1 month, and I think it indicates a bottoming out process in the industrial sector.
And Dan, if we can hold you right there through the break, because we have a lot more questions. Daniel Meckstroth, chief economist at Manufacturers Alliance, MAPI, and we're still talking auto production. We're back with Daniel Meckstroth, chief economist at Manufacturers Alliance, MAPI. Mr. Meckstroth joining us from our Washington bureau. Sir, thanks for staying with us through the break. And we were talking about that industrial production number, 0.5% increase reported today. But there was that 20% increase in motor vehicle and parts production in July. How important was that figure?
It was important. 20% increase in any industry is extremely large. In fact, auto assemblies were up over 44%. In addition to that, but even if you take the automobile and parts production out, manufacturing production would have increased 0.2%, without the increase in motor vehicles. So it wasn't just motor vehicles. It was pretty much across the board. 12 of the 20 major manufacturing industries actually increased in July. I think it had a lot to do with an inventory swing that's going on. Whenever you reduce the liquidation of inventories, it tends to increase production. The same thing can be said for automobiles. It wasn't the Cash for Clunkers program specifically, because that wasn't even effective until the end of the month. It was the fact that we were bringing up plants because inventories had been driven down to excessively low levels.
Right. Well, do we get a sense now, at least from today's numbers and from some of the other internals, that we're finally seeing a bottoming out in the manufacturing sector?
Yes, I think we are bottoming out, but it's not going to be smooth. You were talking about a V recovery. I think it's going to be somewhere between a V and an L. It's going to be a relatively modest recovery. It's not a V and it's not an L. It's in between, and that means you're going to have pluses and minuses, good days and bad days, good news, bad news. And there's still a lot of excess capacity. The capital goods sectors are lagging. They're going to be lagging this recovery, being led by housing and automobiles and consumer non-durables and services, which are very stable.
What about the direction of business conditions and the improvement thereof? Was that a sharp change of direction?
No, I think in general, they've been building. The housing market is stabilizing. The motor vehicle sales sector has reached a trough. It's just the fact that production in a lot of these industries have gone to such extremely low levels that they pretty much can't go any lower. They're at basically replacement levels. And then you have a very stable, relatively stable service sector that kind of is the base to build on. And so it's just a bottoming out type process where some of the very cyclical industries are starting to rebound, and you've gone through a period of just gross liquidation of all types of materials, commodities, and now you can't liquidate anymore. And just the fact that you're not cutting is a plus to production. You've got to produce more because of that.
Daniel Meckstroth, chief economist at Manufacturers Alliance, MAPI, joining us from Washington. Mr. Meckstroth, thank you so much for your view.